Wait till the email comes through. The darn near only notification I get, unless the internet is to be believed, we are live. Boy, did I go overboard, but welcome to the channel, right? This is a little... I've had it on my mind for a few, but didn't know if I'd pull the trigger. And then when I saw that things were coming together a little bit late on the video for this week, I think that's about where I'm at as a video and a stream per week now. I thought I should do something to fill that space, but also I've had it in my mind to do kind of a channel update for some time. Let's get the chat open here just in case we get some people. So I'm here to talk a little bit about the channel, maybe less about where it's been, but where it's going. Some ideas I have for the various shows that are going on. I know I said I would be live about an hour ago. If you were following me on any of the different socials or bits or whatever it is, and spent a good hour making lower third logos for each of the series I'm going to talk about. So that's what I mean by going overboard, but hey, it's going to be worth it, right? Here, example number one, cinematic, which each one didn't take that long, but since obviously I've got 10 of these to make, it did. Cinematic, like I said, plugging along. It was going to be the video kind of for this week and didn't come together. It will be about Tai Chi Master from 1993, which, spoiler, was a lot of fun. It actually tells the story, which I didn't know, which is why it is fun, because I feel like I'm reinventing the thing every time this happens. Learning a lot, as is the case with each of these series, but it tells the story about Zheng Sanfeng, I'm going to say, kind of the originator of Tai Chi, if that is to be believed, as happens with a lot of the Chinese folk heroes. It's kind of like there's always like a note somewhere on some entry that's like, if this person existed, but I'm not going to go that far. Obviously, there's a lot out there on him, so I think he probably existed, but I didn't know anything about him, so it became this whole other rabbit hole about where he came from, what he had to do, and then just with Tai Chi, like how that's different from the stuff I've seen so far, both cinematically, but also just actually. So that ended up being a lot of fun. And that series in general is just a lot of fun to do. Again, it's kind of like every movie is like an action movie history lesson to some extent. It's like, so when I went to school, I ended up with a degree in film and history, just kind of like, I like film and history. Not a lot more thought went into it than that. So these movies are like, couldn't be more up my alley, because it's like history, but also look at all this cool stuff that people can do, like Jet Li, who's the star of Tai Chi Master. So I don't have a lot to add about that series, other than the episode didn't come together for this week. It will for next week. I'm probably going to film it today, and then it'll go out live. Not live. It'll go out next week. Whether or not I hold it till Friday will be the question, I guess. So a lot of fun. If you got any questions about that series, let it rip. If you get questions about any of these series, stop me at any time. This can also be something of a Q&A. If you have any requests, like you want to move anything I'm talking about up the list, I would like to see that sooner rather than later. Definitely let me know. Sorry, I'm getting notifications in the chat that are just like, you're connected to the chat. Thank you very much. Makes me wonder if... I'm using Meld again. We'll talk about it in a few, but let me just double check that Meld isn't... Okay, right. Got the chat up on another screen. Appears to be fine. But if we can have everything in one window here, please, that would be great. So that's cinematic. The other series that's always front of mind is Tetris Tuesdays at 10, where I continue to play a quote unquote new Tetris every week. This is also one of my favorite things to do on this channel. Easily, it pretty much combines everything. It's like, what if I could tinker around with some software, because I'm dealing with emulators, hardware too. Like maybe I've got the actual console, although it seems whenever I pull those up, I'm more apt to use the emulation route because it's just easier sometimes to put together. Can't do that this coming week, so stay tuned for that. But for that reason, it just kind of brings a bunch of likes together, and I'm like, got to produce this show that's everything I want to do, and then at the end I play a Tetris game. So it's like just win-win. This next one I'm gearing up for. What can I tell you about this series? So speaking of hardware, because a lot of times there are these little handhelds that have been released, certainly when it comes to Tetris, because it's been around for so long and it has such a storied, let's say, portable history, like that. Game Boy Tetris is one of the all-timers, like not even just for handhelds. People will tell you that's like a top 10 Tetris ever, and I would agree. Some of the handhelds were not as fancy. You would get a lot of those. I don't think Tiger actually did one, but like the little Tiger Electronics handhelds that we've probably all had one or two of in our lifetimes. Poker. Do you have that poker? Tiger did a poker. I haven't looked it up. I don't know. They definitely did like a poker handheld, right? This is next level. We're in the 2000s, mid 2000s at this point in the series. So we're getting to the point where it was something of a novelty if you could release a standalone piece of hardware that would connect to your TV and have the game on it as well. I had the Atari joystick. It was looked like an Atari joystick from the 2600, and yet it had some video outs on it. And if you just plugged the joystick into the TV, it would have the games on it. So fun, novel to some extent, even though if those are around, it's not because anybody's probably still playing them. It's because they're kind of a weirdness like this thing, which not only do you plug into the TV, you get 5 games at it while you do. I don't know if I'll have a second player on me, but if I do, these are the controllers. So these are one of the more fun things to do with that series, because I get to, that was only like $30, so it's not even that big of a deal. Find these things and get them up and running and see what somebody might have experienced with that particular Tetris, because that's a version of Tetris that does not show up anywhere else. I don't think that was ported to anything. This doesn't really look like any of them that I've played before. So it gets interesting. I'll go into the history of Radica too. They've done more than a few of the handhelds. It was fun looking up where they came from and their ethos, more or less. So that's going to be the very next one we do as far as Tetris Tuesdays go. And I'm going to run that $30 thing, which was it even 30 when it was new? I don't know. Probably less, into like $1,000 worth of equipment to get you like the most pristine 480p signal you've ever seen. Again, it's a lot of sometimes dumb fun, that series. Also, this will actually coincide a little bit with, hold on. Nope, that didn't work. Runboxing, etc., which the series I've done to give myself an excuse to open up a piece of hardware or tech or something and talk about it for a little bit. It's not anywhere near as exhaustive as literally any other video you could find on the thing that I'm talking about, but I will more often than not tell you my very specific use case and hope that's interesting in some way. This was a series I resisted for a good long time because there are endless amounts of YouTube channels out there that are just tech reviews. It's got to be like, I wonder what the breakdown is. Like if you broke down YouTube into like some sort of tech review, like how much is that YouTube? How much is just that YouTube to people? I bet it's up there. It's a significant portion, I would say. I resisted turning into that somewhat. I still do. I'm not going to, but it's fun. You know, I'm still a techie somewhere at heart, so it's fun to bring these things in and figure out what I'm going to do with them to some extent and tell you about it. So speaking of videos that you can go and watch anywhere else that are more exhaustive, I've got an analog 3D here in this box, still unopened. I haven't even, like there's a box inside this box that's unopened. I could open this box if I wanted. I still haven't done that. So that's going to figure into Tetris Tuesdays because I have an N64 Tetris, the new Tetris, that's just what they called it. It's, you know, an easy 40 years old, 30 whatever years old at this point. But that will be its own runboxing, etc. video. And then I will bring it in for a Tetris Tuesday, hook it up, and we'll play the new Tetris. If I can find that cartridge, I've got a local shop, World 1-1 Games, that is pretty good for the area. I live in a relatively small town, and it is pretty darn good. You know, I don't have to go. I've got another one that's, no, it's not as good. I was going to say 30 minutes to an hour away. I don't think it's as good. So I would probably be going to LA if I wanted something as good as my local shop, which is very cool. So I might see if I can find that cartridge there, make a little video about that in some way. So that could be upcoming as well before I actually stick it in and make a Tetris Tuesdays out of it. So regardless, even after all that, I have a screen for this as well. Hey, even if I make those two videos that I'm telling you about, those two Tetris Tuesdays that are coming up, that'll put us at generously halfway down the list. I don't even think so, really. Like, this is where that would be right about here. We would still have all these to go. Some of these don't come through. Some of these, like the red ones, are often on devices that I can't replicate in any way or emulate. So there won't be an episode on every single one of these, but that has also happened on my way down this first half of the list. So again, generously, we're only halfway down the list on this thing for Tetris Tuesdays. So we've got plenty of Tetrises to keep this going well after I die, which is when it'll really get interesting, I guess, technically. Zombie Tetris Tuesday at 10 o'clock, 10 a.m. That's the important part, whether or not I'm dead or alive. Now I have to remember which screen I was on before. Nope, that wasn't it. Talk about that soon. How are you liking Meld so far? All these built-in animations. Speaking of which, if you want me to tell you more about that, just tune in on Tuesday. It's, I think, 2 weeks going now on this. It's pretty fun. It's the Meld Studio. It's what I'm using instead of OBS lately. I hadn't heard about it until I was watching a Tom Buck live stream. Go check out his channel. He's an amazing person and video man. But somebody even just in that chat talked about Meld, and I was like, Meld, do you say? And I looked it up, and it's a ton of fun. Like, I'm, speaking of digging into new software and figuring it out, I'm having a lot of fun with Meld doing that, assuming this is all going well, which all signs point to yes. So I think that's Tetris Tuesdays. Let me see here. Yep. So, and that's just, those are the list of official games, by the way. What am I on? 4. Okay, now I will remember. These are just the official Tetris games. Someday I'm going to get into unofficial, which I don't know if there's an actual page for, but oh no, I think it's just at the bottom of this page. Hold on. Yeah, here we go. Unknown release date, unreleased, which we've done some of already with the Mega Drive version here, especially. Tabletop games. No, they don't have the unofficial. Okay. Anyway, lots of Tetris out there. Never wanting for a Tetris. Speaking of games, we'll keep it going. A Game in the Life is a series that I think, according to, we can do this too, my YouTube channel, I haven't done an episode of since 1 year ago. So, and even then it was about the games I played in 2022. So, I'm probably closer to doing a new episode of A Game in the Life than I have been. It seems like my gaming comes in bursts lately, and right now I'm really into Marvel Cosmic Invasion came out this week. It's a new beat 'em up, so it's an easy drop in, drop out for Evelyn and I. And I've got some friends, hopefully Matt and Adam, and the crew. We'll get together and play some, maybe today even. So I've got gaming on the mind, which means I have it on my mind to go, and that's the thing, is I still have a list of videos I want to make in this area. So I've been talking about this forever. There's an episode of Hi-Fi Rush that I want to make. A Game in the Life does tend to focus on one game here and there, like because the way I game lately is I go really deep on a single game, which is kind of how I always did it. It's just I played a lot more of them, so now I play a lot less. So it's like when I go deep on a game, it's a significant time investment because I'm not playing a bunch of other things anymore. But that series can be more than just that. I have some games lined up in that vein, like Dead Cells, Inscription, and Sifu, which are all kind of run-based. They have, I hesitate to say roguelite characteristics to them. Actually, yeah, they have characteristics. They're not roguelites specifically, but that's the type of game that kind of lends themselves to a video like this, because I go deep on them and have thoughts, usually the difficulty curve, like Hades, Dune Imperium. I even did a Marvel Snap video. That was kind of an early version, and I still play it to some extent, so that could be a fun update, I guess. Not that I need more to throw on the list here. I also have, I've never stopped taking notes. I used to do a video game podcast a long time ago. The way that workflow was for me was that I would play, take notes, and then have a conversation based on some of those notes, like any other gaming podcast, probably to some extent. I still have those notes, and I still continue to take notes. So I have this is what I played in 2023, what I thought about it. This is what I played in 2024. And now 2025, we're at the end of the year. So I've got a long list of things I'd like to put together. I do miss talking about games in many ways. So that would be something I would like to do. With Hi-Fi Rush, now I'm at the point where I haven't played it in long enough that I still have the notes on what I wanted to do in that episode, but I would need to brush up quite a bit. So I'm at a weird spot with even that one. But anyway, that's A Game in the Life whenever I get things together to do that. What would be next? What did I think was going to be next? Oh, we're unboxing a Tetra. Right. I already talked about that. Ryan Rambles, right. So this is, if you caught the video this year, there was something of an update because I was still doing these old, so when I started this channel forever ago, it was pretty fresh off that gaming podcast. And so I talked about games almost exclusively. And these are all the oldest episodes on my channel again. Videos, latest keep going, I can show this to you. I don't know if it'll be useful. Yeah, Daily Drum used to be on this channel as well. Those obviously took up a lot of space. I was approaching 1,000 videos, whatever I'm at now, just because of all these Daily Drums. Here we go. Look at that. These are all the earliest videos I put up on the channel. Apple Arcade, Capcom Beat 'em Ups, 2 episodes on the Capcom Beat 'em Ups. Star Trek on the Xbox 360. I gave them weird title. I tried to title the episodes with one word from each of the games I was talking about. So, Death Effects Hot Shot Turbo Dreams was about a lot of games. Overcooked here, Jurassic Park, Lego Jurassic Park, I think it was. Anyway, so I should have named each of these scenes so I knew what I was clicking on when I would go back to them. So I retired that series, essentially, that naming convention, the Ryan Runs episodes, because those eventually turned into like me just, when the channel started to evolve, it started to turn into me talking about other stuff. It started to turn into more of the kind of catch-all podcast series that I would do. And it started to make no sense at all because the videos were called Ryan Runs, but also the channel was always called Ryan Runs. So I needed to fix that. So I retired that video series with a video I put out earlier this year called The Future is Rambling. It was the last episode of, if you ever go onto the channel and just look up the latest here, it'll give you the latest episodes, which isn't going to help here. Ryan Rambles, there it is. Nope, that's not it. That's what it became. Ryan Runs, down here at the bottom. There it is. The Future is Rambling. That was the last Ryan Runs titular episode. So the rest are just Ryan Rambles from here on out. They're all going to be video episodes, etc., etc. Probably didn't need to explain that all to you in such detail for so long. Got it right. Look at that. So Ryan Rambles as a series continues. It's probably the most capricious of all the video series, you know, because I don't care. It's just what's on my mind, what I'm thinking about, what I want to talk about. So because of that, I've got some Moon Knight episodes yet to complete. I was watching the series because I read a bazillion of those comics for like a year or more straight. So I had Moon Knight on the mind and really wanted to know how that series held up, which it very much does. And I don't know why I've petered out on some of those episodes because the last episode I've seen was my favorite by far. So I'm going to get back into that. I think I'll just do one more episode to wrap up that entire series. So it'll be on the last 2 episodes of that series. But also the 2 episodes was just about pins that I'd collected from PAX over the years. The very, very last one was me talking about all the live music that I saw in 2025-ish, which turned into concerts that I've been going to for over 30 years now. If you didn't see that episode, maybe check it out because a lot of people didn't. I think it's sitting pretty at 24 views, if that's to be believed. If YouTube view counts are to be believed nowadays, which is up in the air somewhat. I've heard like good, great, like people that are making a living at their channels are taking a hit on views and maybe monetization for that reason. So you can imagine what my channel might be doing that, you know, wasn't exactly raking it in, is not raking it in. I don't make any, like Google, YouTube does not give me any money at all. I am not to that point in any way, shape, or form. You can go to Ko-Fi or Patreon if you want that, to make that a reality for me. That's my only form of income for this thing. I should talk about it more. But thank you to all the patrons, which I just realized I didn't do a concluding screen with all of your names. So I'll just give you maybe bespoke shout outs, let's say. Anyway, that is, I think, Ryan Rambles. Have I forgotten anything so far? No, I have not. So from here on, those are kind of like the pillars of the channel. The main series that you're going to see that I feel like most involved with. There is more out there that I probably haven't touched in some time. Older school being first and foremost, I want to say, like, it's to the point where I almost feel bad talking about it now because it's been, okay, no, it hasn't been 2 years yet, but over a year ago, so not this last summer since we're winter now, but the summer before that, oh, maybe it has been, no, it hasn't been 2 full years yet, but before summer 2023, I was like, okay, I've got this idea for a series. I'm going to go back. You know, there was a skate video, which you can watch on my channel as well. Let's get older school up here. Down here, I just called it old school, and I fully ripped off Plan B's virtual reality without knowing. Like, it's skateboarding footage of me from the 90s, but I made the video in the early 2000s, maybe mid 2000s even. Nah, I think it was probably pretty early. And realized then that I was like, wait, I just totally ripped off. I didn't remember doing this consciously back in the day into the 2000s, but very obviously you did that. Anyway, I did a commentary track you can see there, which is me just watching it back and talking about some of the things. But the idea behind the series Older School is that I go back and try to recreate some of those tricks. I was going to have Evelyn ride along and film with me, and didn't get to it, like filmed some test footage and then realized I needed a neutral density filter for my iPhone because I wanted to do this all on my iPhone because I also thought it would be the easiest thing for Evelyn to use. In fact, there's an episode of Run Boxing, etc., where her and I open up the DJI Osmo Mobile 6, which is what she's going to use with my iPhone. I've actually since changed iPhones too, so I actually need to get a new case for my 17. Anyway, that didn't come together that summer for that reason. So I punted. I was like, it's going to come together this summer, 2025. Oh, so maybe this was just 2024. Anyway, it didn't. It hasn't come together. Summer has come and gone. And it's because Evelyn's a little busy, and I feel bad for taking up as much of her time as I do already. So also she does chasers with me, and we're going to talk about that next. So I guess I kind of don't know what I'm going to do with that. Not that I'm not going to do it, but man, I don't have that many years left where I can at all. I did get out this year. Hey, Gunler in the chat. Any achievement interviews coming up? Yeah, good question. Did I talk about that already? No. I did have an idea. That would be an episode of Game in the Life. In fact, yeah, you were here. So we talked a little bit about, I forget what stream it was. Maybe it was when I was putting that Lego Game Boy together. We talked about how Microsoft didn't appear to do much for the 360, the anniversary of the 360, the anniversary of the Xbox 360. Sheesh. So I actually thought about doing something along those lines. I've seen a lot of people like do anniversary streams and stuff like that. I thought maybe I would do an episode of A Game in the Life where I talked about my own like just journey with games and how that certainly didn't end with the Xbox 360, but ballooned, you could say, with the Xbox 360 and achievements. So that might be an upcoming episode with definitely some achievement talk in there. And if you think that's a good idea, then I'm sold. So that could be something. I should definitely I could bring Adam back for some talk. It's even been a full year since that achievement episode. So I'm sure we have some new thoughts on that as well. So, yeah, I should do that. Request received, and maybe I'll move that episode up the list. Older school, to get back to it, tie a bow on that, will happen, and I am super excited about it. I did get out this year. Go check out, if you don't follow me on Instagram, although I think I posted the videos to all, so Twitter, Blue Sky, and Threads. I'm not anywhere else besides that. Maybe I'm on Facebook. Yes, I'm on Facebook, if that counts. It's weird at this point because I just post something on Instagram and I push it to Threads and Facebook. So I don't know. Your platform of choice, there's probably something up there, but there's a few videos of me picking up my skateboard for the first time in at least a year. So it went well. Like I came away from that feeling good about, and I've been out maybe 2 or 3 times since, which isn't enough. I'm trying to get out weekly, but it went well. Like I feel good about doing older school, but which, if I haven't fully explained yet, is, oh yeah, I have fully explained that yet. Wow. Okay. This is going a little long. I'm starting to forget what I've talked about already. So everything else on the channel is, let's just say, up in the air. I used to do Let's Play videos. They're still out there. I haven't taken anything down. You can always go check these out. I think the highest viewed ones are where we did Marvel Uno Ultimate, where it's kind of a character battle type Uno game that I don't think took off. It's very strange, but we had a lot of fun with, and I could do more episodes of that because the way you choose the characters and they fight against each other like totally works for multiple episodes. But I don't know. I do know. You know what it is? And I mentioned this before, but moving equipment around is a boondoggle for, uh-oh, I'm getting an error. What does this mean? Review your session issues. Missing sources. Okay, no idea what this is talking about. Oh, audio too. There shouldn't be any audio playing. I guess Brave could be playing audio, but it's okay, whatever. Let's ignore the issues for the time being. Yeah, so I'm not saying I'll never do another Let's Play videos, but I would have to dismantle everything I have set up, and there's no good way to show you that without moving the camera right now. Hold on. Maybe there is. Let's really mess things up right now, quite possibly. Add source. Video device. Select a device. iPhone camera. Heyo! Can't believe that actually worked. Let's go full screen though. Give you something to look at there. Or we could just not do this on this scene. Anyway, whatever. You can see that. Oh no, I got it. Hold on. Nope, I don't got it. Never mind. That's what I got set up for doing Chasers episodes. So, okay. Anyway, it is extremely annoying to try. Oh, the wife is calling. Hold on. Hello. Okay. All right. Okay. Oh. Ooh. Wow, this is going places. I'm live streaming, but I picked up the call and can't wait to tell them about it. Okay. Are you going to be able to do that? Okay. All right. Talk to you later. Bye. I might have to pick up my daughter soon. Sorry, Gunler in the chat. I saw you coming through. Watched your Spec Ops The Line video recently. Ooh, I loved making that video. And I loved that game too because it is a thinker. I don't know if anybody at that moment in history needed, it was already late on the game, like it had been out for years already, needed a 30-minute video of me talking about Spec Ops The Line. But I enjoyed it. So if you did too, I'm glad to hear it. I should check what other games you've reviewed. Yeah, I know a lot of people look back at their older videos and they're like, "Oof, my older videos." Like obviously they're older, so the playlist you would be looking for, Gunler, for the video game stuff would be the Ryan Runs playlist right here. Actually, I've got it up right now. So if you go into that playlist. These are all just me talking about games. Just a bunch of games until probably this one, 14, where I started to incorporate other things. This one's me talking about skateboards and comic books. I'd still go back. This is me talking about Tetris because it's one of my favorite games of all time. Did I ever go back to games after that episode? I don't think I did. Oh no, Recore. There you go. I talked about Recore on that one, which is also a very good game. Yeah, that's kind of it. And then you would be looking at, and probably have already looked at, the Game in the Life playlist, which is fewer and far between. That started out as me wanting to do kind of doc-y series, which this Burnout video I did, I'm still incredibly proud of. That came out exactly how I wanted it to. So someday I'll do a part 2, hopefully. That was going to be a part 1 of 2. And then I renamed it A Game in the Life, and here we are. So that's what you'd be looking for the game stuff. And then the Let's Plays are, I guess, not all board games, actually. You can tell views-wise, when we moved into video games, it didn't actually play super well. 8 views, 6 views, 16 views. So I probably shouldn't have left the series at that, but, you know, some of these board game ones are still doing pretty well. Like I said, the one where we play Uno. Anyway. My wife, my kid's in a parade, a light parade here, and his float hasn't started moving yet, but my daughter is, again, busy practicing for a play, so somebody needs to pick her up rather soon. So I'm going to see if I can tie a bow on this whole thing right now. Yeah, I've talked about older school. I want to do it extremely bad. Like, older school is still way up there, and I have a sense of urgency about it. I think maybe I just shouldn't wait until summertime, which I can do in California. Shoot, it was 70 yesterday, I think, or something like that. I just need to figure out. I might need to get somebody else to tag along with me. That might become a Candy, my wife, project, hopefully, too, which I'm just really sensitive about how I use my family's time for this thing. So anyway, Gunler in the chat, you should do a video about those 360 Burger King games for the game. I could talk to you about them. In fact, what was it? Big Bumpin', Sneak King, Pocket. I forget the name of the third. Wasn't it like a motorcycle one? Pocket something? Pocket Bike? No, I'm getting that wrong. Yeah, you're not kidding. Those would be fun. Yeah, anyway. Trying to think if there's anything else I could tell you about the actual channel. Oh, we do a kind of a Christmas card podcast at the end of the year. That's going to happen. I'm trying not to record it on Christmas Day like I have for the past 2 years, but if Pocket Bike Racer, that was it. Yes, okay. I was close. If you want to know what the family's doing, that's that, and Merry Christmas and all that, blah blah blah. Chasers is on hiatus. That's the way that channel works. It is its own channel now, although I have spruced it up a little bit. You can still find the old episodes here on this channel. In fact, I thought I updated that playlist. Oh, I might have to reorganize the videos, but I've updated the playlist so it will include the videos that are now on the other channel. But if you want to go to the other channel, that's never far away. Just want to make sure that's not playing any video. Okay, cool. But this channel has also been revamped to include each season on its own to season 1. Again, even though these are on the original channel, they show up in playlists on the home tab of the new channel, which you can see is in the middle of a rebranding. I've got the season 4 stuff up and going, but I'm in the middle, so I've got the wrong banner still. And it's on hiatus, so there's not new episodes every Wednesday at this particular moment. So anyway, that is what that is. I'm still why does it keep giving me, okay, you know what? Let's mute that. Maybe that'll, there shouldn't be any other audio coming through, even though it seems to tell me that there is. Okay. But yes, also we're doing the DC Cosmic cards you can see there. That was something we decided on at the end of last season. We've got more than enough Marvel cards, so we thought we would give DC some love. They're not the, those cards themselves aren't the flashiest cards you've ever seen, but it should make for some interesting discussion between myself and the kid. So, Chaser's also not lighting the world on fire, that channel. You can see here, I don't know why this should be a part of the show where I show you how little views I'm getting on these, but 66689. Not like I'm going to stop doing them, but by the way, that exists if you didn't know and are into comic books and are wondering where it's going. It's a weird show. I don't know if it's what people expect from that segment. A lot of, card videos are just people tearing through an entire box in less than 10 minutes, maybe 5 minutes even. And that is Evelyn and I opening up like 2 to 4, depending on if we get any chase cards, and then mostly talking about stuff. So it's not the normal thing that people look for with that stuff, but I enjoy it immensely. Evelyn enjoys it. I keep checking in to make sure, and she does. So we're going to keep doing it. And hopefully I will actually start filming some of those during the Christmas break. So that should be fun. What else? That is it for Chasers. Here's the box. Look at that. Perfect logo. There's no way I'm going to be able to. It's hard to do. Last but not least, but actually maybe also least, the Daily Drum still exists, also as its own channel. You can see it's been a month even since I've done a video here. It's fewer and farther between just because I don't know. It takes I have the production process really streamlined for this channel. Like I can make several at a time and just kind of pump them out, but it still takes time. And honestly, what it might have been is that I've had some issues with my rolling cymbals. So even just recently, the last Runboxing video you're going to see, Runboxing, etc., is me opening up some new cymbals that actually did end up working with that kit. So I'm in a better spot than I ever have been with it. And I do have some ideas Two, like now that, because the cymbals are quieter than the other ones I've had, so I want to bring Evelyn in because she's a phenomenal singer and need somebody to pick her up from. Actually, no, they're doing choreography this week, so she's probably not singing too much. But I've got ideas and I want to do stuff with it. It's just that, I don't know, it's a little less fulfilling. It's more of a for fun, just for fun type thing, because it is, there's, even though I get to talk about, every one of those videos has me talking about the song or the music or some history with it at the top and bottom of me playing through it on the drums. But it's not a priority. So I'm running low on just about every amount of steam at this point. So I think we're going to call it. Let's see if this is the one I want. It is. Yay. Thanks to everybody that you've ever tuned in, watched any of these, been around, liked, subscribed, gone to Patreon. Again, I'm going to flub. Hold on. Let's at least call out the patrons here. What would be the easiest way to do that? I'll tell you what would be the easiest. Brandon, Adam, Diana, Kim, Greg, Matt, Mark, Jonathan Blade, of course, Karina, Sliptide, the usuals. You guys are top of my list for human beings. And if you want to be top of that list, you can go to patreon.com/Ryan_runs_. Also, there's a Ko-Fi link too, where you can just do a one-time if you're more into the tip jar type thing. I appreciate it. This is a labor of love in so many ways, and not always easy. So if you make that like even just a little bit better for me, I am endlessly appreciative. I feel like I'm just going to pass out when I hit stop on this. So maybe I should take a break someday also. Who knows? I don't. And I'm done. So thank you. Thanks, everybody. See you next time, which will be Tuesday at the very least, with another Tetris at 10 a.m. Pacific. Or I'll finally get that cinematic edited by then. And that'll be out next week as well. So thank you. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Whatever it might be. I'm going to stop.